Good afternoon and welcome to the Mobility Podcast. Today I have the pleasure and privilege of hosting two distinguished guests and also good friends of mine. I have with me Mr. Rohan Chhatwal, Vice President of the Innovation and Research Center at Maruti Suzuki. He's based out of Gurgaon in Delhi. And I also have Hemanth Satyanarayana from our very own Hyderabad, the CEO of Imaginate. So thank you, Rohan San, and thank you, Hemanth, for joining us. So before we get into the podcast, a quick introduction about Rohan San. Rohan San is I joke with him that he's a lifetimer at Maruti. He spent over 16 years at Maruti in various roles: regional sales, sales planning, channel management, market development, and market share growth. And he's now, for the last few years, been central to what Maruti has been doing from building an open innovation ecosystem. He's probably interacted with more than 3,000 startups across so many technology domains: AI, ML, AR, VR, quantum, computer vision, and so on. So thank you for being here today, Rohan San. And Hemanth, an IIT Chennai alum, also an sunny Buffalo alum, and someone who's done remarkable work, spatial computing in AR, VR, and also MR, I think. Okay. So thank you, Hemanth, and thank you, Rohan San, again for being here. So I'll start with you, Rohan San, and Maruti is someone which practically everyone who's lived in India will have a fond association with in some form or the other, right? It's about 40 years now since Maruti has been around. And obviously Maruti has gone through several transitions in terms of, I remember my first car was the 800, okay, and so on. And also the partnership with Toyota and so on. So let's, for our audience, give us a quick overview of how the innovation landscape in MSIL has evolved in the last few years.
Sure. Thank you first for having me here, and thank you for calling me your friend. And for the viewers, would you like to share why you're calling us San and not Mr.?
So as you know, Rohan San, so Maruti Suzuki is the coming together of Maruti and Suzuki, and the most outstanding example of cross-border collaboration, and really a stellar example of how a partnership which brings together two different cultures, particularly in the area of manufacturing, has worked. It's a great example of creativity, of collaboration. And I think San is a term of respect.
Yes.
It's the equivalent of Garu or Ji in India.
Absolutely.
And so I've got so used to calling Rohan San. I'm going to use that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So yes.
And I'll try and see if I can call Hemanth Garu. Right? Though I know he prefers to be called Hemanth.
So yeah, coming back to your question, yes, Maruti has been known to be a very innovative company. We have been in India for the last 40 plus years. In fact, when we started our operations in the year 1983-84, Maruti was the one to set up a plant capacity of 100,000 units when the market size was only 40,000. So such was the vision of the founders and the management at that point of time. Let us crack this India market. Let us give joy of mobility to as many Indians as possible. And during the journey, last 42 plus years, we've been able to roll out very, very interesting, innovative technologies, very interesting products for different segments of our customers. We have hatchbacks, sedans, SUVs. So the range is pretty wide, and our customers have loved the kind of models which Maruti has kind of launched. And Maruti loves technology, and we've been at the forefront of bringing out cutting-edge innovative solutions for our customers.
So if you look at when this innovation wing was set up, right? So if you can just walk us through, when was it set up, and whose vision was it, right? And also a little bit about, you've done this at a national level scale, right? And we are at now getting to the second challenge as we speak, right?
Yes. So the innovation wing, which I currently take care of, was kind of set up in the year 2019. Just before that, there was a lot of buzz in the market about the startup ecosystem developing and the kind of traction which startups had and the kind of new novel solutions which startups were bringing to the market, whether B2B or B2C. That was a time when early 2019 when company decided, let us start collaborating with startups. The very purpose was to, of course, harness the energy which startups bring to the table, but also get access to the technology, especially the new technology at an early stage, much before than the other adopters in the market. And of course, Maruti is known for R&D. We wanted to kind of supplement the R&D efforts which our traditional R&D people put in. So kind of, you can say, access to new technology, get kind of supplement our R&D, and also at the same time promote open innovation within the organization by collaborating with startups and academia, because startups are known to be very fast and agile. They at times work even 48 hours non-stop, whereas corporate executives are very hardworking, but at the same time both the parties can learn a lot from each other. And also underlying objective was, how do we grow the entire ecosystem, because startups and once you want to collaborate with them, you cannot play this game alone. So that is how we started building partnerships across India, and that is why how we reached out to T Hub as well. And you've been a fantastic partner, supporter, and I've been a cheerleader, and we've learned a lot from you guys, and you have supported us running different programs. So these were like the underlying objectives of running such a kind of a program for Maruti Suzuki.
Sure. So Rohan-san, before I get to you, Hemant, you started this Mobility Challenge, right? And it's a program where you're trying to bring together diverse, advanced technologies which will essentially shape mobility as we know it as we go forward, right? So tell us a little bit about the thinking behind how the challenge was conceived, and what were the broad overall aims and objectives. And we are now getting into the second phase. Just talk us through a little bit about the first phase, conceptualization, outcomes, and all of that.
So Mobility Challenge is the kind of was kind of took birth when our customers became very demanding. You must have heard the customers are very demanding, but when our internal customers became very demanding, when I say internal means our business units, we were running our accelerator program and incubator program. So there's a structure to those programs. It takes about 6 months to 9 months to graduate from those programs. But our internal customers said that we don't have that much of time. We want quick solutions. I am giving you a problem statement. I am giving you data sets. Can you find a startup who can quickly solve this and get onboarded in Maruti within the next 3 to 4 months, at max 5? So that was kind of the reason why this Mobility Challenge was born. And the very reason was quick adoption. Problem statement was given beforehand. The entire contours, even the details of the problem statements were kind of written down by Maruti at an advanced stage, very early stage. And even when we launched the challenge, everybody was very clear what this challenge is all about, what is the use case, and only the interested parties applied. Rather than when you apply in any other program, even if you are a startup from other areas, you generally tend to apply.
So how many domains did you cover?
In Mobility Challenge, it was a very specific, like a computer vision, AI-based kind of a cohort we ran. We had startup applications, not only from India, but because we ran it with you, we got applications from Australia, USA, Israel, and a couple of more countries. So that was a good participation from across the board.
So I'll come to you now, Hemant. You are the proud winner of the first edition of the Mobility Challenge. So talk us through when you were applying, what was the thought process, and what were your expectations? What did you expect to get out of the challenge? And have the expectations been realized? And how was the whole experience of working with MSIL through the process, etc.?
Sure. Again, firstly, thanks a lot for having me here. T-Hub as a valuable partner for us, and MSIL as a valuable supporter and a partner for us in our startup journey, right? I feel very privileged to be sitting here. Also privileged to hear from Rohan-san about the kind of competition that was there for Mobility Challenge. Now that I understand what all went through it, I'm so thrilled for my team to sort of have come forward, apply to the program, and helped us win the challenge, right? So when we heard about the program, of course, because we are a Hyderabad-based startup, we heard about it through the T-Hub ecosystem, and we jumped into it. One T-Hub, second, I mean, like you mentioned, MS Arsan, my first car as well was Maruti 800, right?
Oh, nice.
So Maruti Suzuki, of course, is a renowned brand and the number one automotive brand that we've been hearing over several decades. So we jumped into that opportunity. How else can we get an opportunity to sort of go and pitch to a company in Gurugram, right? Right from Hyderabad. So we applied. It was not difficult. It's easy to apply. It's a mobility challenge program. We've been at it for the last 5 years until then when we heard about it in terms of developing the product and all. So we knew it was a fast program. So we knew that, hey, we have a solution. I think if we sort of apply it to the use case, we may have a chance to win it, right? So we put in the application, and at that point of time, our experience in terms of applying to different corporate programs was all about incubation programs. I mean, open innovation, incubation. Honestly, what I've heard in the industry till then was all, open innovation programs, which is for maybe unpaid or slightly paid kind of programs. It was more like an experiment, and that's it. So I've seen some programs like that. This sort of lost that sheen after a little while. But this program was quite unique because in the application process itself, all of us, my sales team as well, we felt it is quite different from what we've applied to in the past, right? The difference is during the application process, the Maruti Suzuki team helped us and convey our story in such a way that it is felt appropriately to the use case. Right. So our team
did a lot of handholding.
It did a lot of handholding. I mean, our team was sort of built or coached to sell our product as an agnostic, like vertical agnostic, use case agnostic kind of solution. But it was a good learning experience for us that, hey, look, if you're trying to sell to a service engineer, use the words which a service engineer can resonate with. So one of the things that we learned then was, we have in our solution, we had something called procedures. Procedures are basically workflows, right? That which anybody can sort of follow and then perform their job. And we were coached to say, hey, even in your pitch, instead of calling it a procedure, call it SOP, because that's what our use case is all about, SOPs.
Yeah.
So even during application, even before we won the challenge, Maruti Suzuki treated applicants as well as valuable partners, and they coached us to on how to apply this to in the presentation. And then we, of course, after that we won the challenge. In fact, even that whole process was 3 months. We were so thrilled to have a large company handhold us, and of course with the other applicants as well, to sort of see how that solution can be sold or pitched to the business partners within MSL. And then we won it, and
Hemanth, just to a follow-up question on what you said. In terms of the grant which you got from MSIL and all of that, how have you been able to leverage the fact that you got engaged with the largest player in the market, who's also focused on innovation, etc. How has that helped you, in your journey subsequently?
Absolutely. So the first big value addition for us is that when we were developing the product, and we were just in beta at that point of time, we had a customer who paid us for the pilot, and the customer has deployed it in 20 different service centers, and we're getting live feedback from users, right? For a product which we were able to quickly roll out, and that was the objective, that hey, instead of developing the whole product, is there a product out there which we can deploy? So we deployed it immediately. But then after deployment, we also started getting feedback from users. So here the user feels like maybe there's a voice to text feature which can come in handy, is what we got as an input. So that helped us in refining our product roadmap on what to prioritize, what not to be focused on, right? And then we were able to now fine tune our solution more towards the automotive sector, which was a sector agnostic solution earlier. Now automotive sector focused, and within the sector, it's on the service engineer, service side kind of focus. So it helped us get that focus.
I do know based on this, you were able to also get another client.
Yeah.
I understand. Okay, so coming back to your own son, we are now embarking on Challenge 2.0.
Yeah.
Right. So, what are your expectations from 2.0?
See, I mean, just like what Hemanth just summarized, so we really put our heart and soul into two kind of challenges which we launched, like Mobility Challenge, what Hemanth won. A lot of contextualization, what he just said. Technology, of course, is superior. Technology is, of course, very important, but you have to contextualize. A lot of hard work goes from the business side as well to contextualize into the particular use case, guide the startup or multiple startups what exactly will be the business benefit of the application of the technology. So how do you account for the hard work or the man hours put in by the business team? So that is also a lot of effort on Maruti's side, but we are up for it. We want to do it, and we want to get it solved through a startup only. That's also something which we want to really convey to our business managers back home, that yes, startups have the capability to solve these kind of complex problems as well. Maybe it will be like slightly iterative, but we are up for it because we know once it is cracked, then scaling up is not a problem. And like you said, what are our expectations from Mobility Challenge? Expectations are very high because now they have to beat what Hemant has already done for us, because there is a kind of a fair baseline expectation.
So, the
bar is already very high. Hemant has been a very, very hardworking founder. He's been very humble, very grounded, very approachable, because these are the qualities you look for in a founder or a startup, because that is why you are engaging with a startup, for flexibility, for the more humbleness, and for co-creation, because we are not looking for plug and play. We are looking for co-creation. Can we co-create something which is very unique for Maruti, or unique for Maruti's customers or technicians or engineers? Because at the end of the day, it is an innovation program. So this is what we look from startups, and this is what we expect in cohort 2 as well.
So, two questions, follow-up questions. One, in terms of when you are selecting startups, right? Without giving away too much, right? What are your kind of guiding parameters or criteria which you look for when you are selecting startups? One. Second is going back to the point you talked about co-creation, type of thing. Sometimes startups tend to have some apprehensions about intellectual property and so on, right?
Yeah.
So two separate questions, but
You see, to be honest, there are two stages of selecting any startup. I'll be very honest with you. Step one is we rely on our partner. In this case, you are our partner, T-Hub. We are extremely proud to have you as a partner. So we rely on your judgment and your experience and your credibility in the market to source the right startups. We believe the ones you are going to pass to us, you have done certain kind of a DD on your own, on the founders, on the kind of technology which they bring to the table. Then, of course, we touch only those set of startups which are screened by you guys. We don't go out in the market and then find something and then fit them into this program. So that kind of foolproofs the entire thing. That becomes very fair and transparent. It's a very partner driven thing. Secondly, our philosophy has been innovate, collaborate, and co-create. So it has been like the thesis. Whenever in doubt, we always go back to, are we innovating? Are we collaborating in the right spirit? Are we co-creating something new or not? So the founders who listen to the business teams, the feedbacks, who are easily approachable, and then who comes back as well after listening to the business, you have to come back and reply to Maruti. The ones who are able to do this at an early stage, they generally find acceptance with us, and they generally move forward in the cohort and eventually see the light of the day.
Sure. One more follow-up question. Okay. Rohan, in terms of once they get to the stage, how do you visualize the possibilities of the scaling, for a startup?
In terms of numbers, we are selling close to almost 1.5 lakh vehicles every year. So if it is a sales-based solution, you can think of this scale. If it is a service solution, we are kind of doing about 15 lakh vehicles service every month. So that's the kind of scale we have, whether if the solution has to be deployed at the service centers or the sales outlet. If it is a factory-based solution, then we are producing about 2 million cars as on today. So that's the kind of scale the startup's solution will be deployed at. So, and if it is going to go at the vendor end, then the sky is the limit. But we are there at every step to handhold, guide, and mold the startup solution as well as the founder's outlook how this can be scaled up. And also, the story doesn't end here. After they become our partners, they are exposed to other multiple opportunities from Maruti as well. So it is not a very one use case based partnership. One use case is done, then they are exposed to other RFPs from different
Once the
businesses.
credibility is established.
Yes, once you have set your foot in the door, then you are exposed to other opportunities. Recently, in fact, as part of our connect and our commitment to startups who are working with us, we in fact take our startups to Japan. We connect them to our parent company, which is Suzuki Motor Corporation, on a very free to free basis. That if they like something, they can definitely join hands. And also to the startup ecosystem based out of Japan, especially Tokyo and other R&D centers there, to do kind of a matchmaking. And we have had some interesting conversations. In fact, Hemanth was part of this very recent trip as well. So these are the kind of soft support or softer things which we bring to the table once we join hands with any startup.
Sure. No, I think I've also heard amazing stories from founders about how the respect is, how there's a very strong mutual respect based relationship.
Yeah.
It's not I'm large, you're a
absolutely,
startup.
Absolutely.
So you get treated as
Absolutely.
equals.
Absolutely.
And, very collaborative.
Very
And
collaborative.
The point you talked about collaboration and co-creation. I think that theme I've heard from a lot of partners. Okay, so Hemanth, this question is about tips, tricks, and treats. Okay, so there will be startups now who will be applying to the Mobility Challenge 2.0.
Right.
So based on your experience, and I'll do a follow-up to get any supplements to your answer from Rohan San. But are there any things which you want to leave as advice to people who are going to apply for the Mobility 2.0 challenge based on your experience?
Well, I don't think there are shortcuts. Blood, sweat, and soul, right? You gotta put it into this program, right? There could be tips, tricks to sort of get into, innovation programs, but this is Mobility Challenge, guys. Please treat this seriously in the sense that you're gonna win a large company order, right? Just set that as your goal, and ensure your product pitch is completely tweaked towards the use case, right? Figure out what the use case is. Don't try to force fit, with your own sales pitch. Just completely revise it. Ensure it is completely applied towards the use case. Take whatever days required for it. Even your demos, see if you can actually sort of demo it with a Maruti Suzuki car, or whatever the use case demands, right? Only when you sort of do it, when you do it, you will definitely be among the top 3 contenders of the program in terms of applications.
Some don'ts.
Don't do a standard random sales pitch, right? For sure. And I think that's all. I think just don't be callous.
No, I like the way that you're very, very straight, no fluff. Focus on solving the problem, and make your pitch very custom to the use case,
Right.
and don't give general stuff. Thank you. Useful. Okay, kind of coming to the end of this conversation. So I'd like you to set a call out for people to apply for the challenge, and Hemanth, you too, as a winner of the first one.
So we are very excited to launch Mobility Challenge Cohort 2. Cohort 1 was immensely successful. In fact, Hemanth is one of the winners who is sitting here with us. So I reach out to you that it's an open innovation program. Come with an open mind. If you have fire in your belly, do apply. If you want Maruti Suzuki to be your business partner, so then this is the right opportunity to have that logo on your customer's slide that Maruti Suzuki is also one of your clients. And once you join hands, I can bet that sky is the limit. Whatever are your dreams and goals as a founder, Maruti will definitely help you reach those goals faster and sooner.
Hemanth?
Yeah, so to support to what Rohan San has already mentioned here, well, if you get MSIL as the logo in the customer list, every other automotive company will come knocking at your door, right? That's all that I want to add here. Please do apply. Make use of this wonderful opportunity to apply to Mobility Challenge, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Rohan San.
Thank you. So
Thank you, Hemant.
Thank you.
I think we spent half an hour,
Yeah, I think so.
and but I didn't realize it was half an hour.
Thank
So
you
it's
so
been a
much.
wonderful conversation, and
Yeah,
thank
same
you
here.
for the insights. Thank you for the perspectives, and look forward
Thank you.
to building on the partnership
Thank you.
between
Absolutely.
MSIL and
Absolutely. And thanks to T-Hub for being such a rock solid partner and sourcing quality startups. So keep doing more and keep screening more startups and share with us.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
look forward.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.